Hi everyone, welcome back again to my YouTube channel. My name is Kosi, and in today's tutorial we're going to be learning how to cut and sew this beautiful underbust bustier. And if they sound like something you're interested to learn, keep on watching and let's get started. Please don't forget to subscribe so you get notified anytime I upload new videos. Welcome back guys. So the first thing you want to do now is to draw a straight line across here. It will serve as your starting line. Place your tape and come down by your chest line. Mine is 7.5, and your bust point, mine is 9.5. Your under bust, mine is 12.5, and your waistline, mine is 15 inch. I repeat the same thing here. After making those points, I'll use my stretch ruler to connect those points, okay, to give me a straight line, okay. After connecting, I'm going to label as chest line, bust point, under bust, and waistline. Once I'm through with that, I'm going to divide my shoulder circumference by 2 plus have any stitching allowance. Do the same thing on the chest line, and I'll use my stretch ruler to connect the 2 points to give me a straight line, okay. So once I'm through with that, I'm also going to mark 3 inch for the neck width, then I'll come down by 1 inch for shoulder slope. I'll connect, then after that I'll label as shoulder line. Next thing I did was to come down by 3 inch for the neck width. This is just for a guide. So I'll connect my round neckline as so, okay. So after that, I will cut it out from the waistline. After cutting from the waistline, what I'm going to do next is to divide my bust span by 2, mine is 3.5. I will mark it on the chest line, the bust point, under bust, and waistline. After connecting, on this side, I will mark 1.5 inch on the under bust. Repeat the same thing on the waistline. Then from the bust point, come down by 1 inch, and again on the side going towards the center front, you're going to come inside by half an inch on the under bust and on the waistline. Connect the both points this way, connect with a straight line. After that, you make your curve this way, okay. From that 1 inch you came down by, go ahead and connect it to that other side, okay. Once you're through with that, divide what you had on the shoulder. Mine was 4 inch. I marked the midpoint of 2 inch, then I connect from there to the bust point. After that, I'll measure what I have from the shoulder to the chest line. It was 7 inch. I wasn't okay with it, so I had to come up by 1 inch. Whatever you have from the shoulder to chest line, if you're not okay with it, you come up by whatever inch you are okay with, okay. So after running a straight line, I labeled as the new chest line. So on both sides, on the side going towards the center front, I came inside by half an inch, and on the side going towards the armhole, I came inside also with 1.5 inch. Then I had to use my cover to connect the 2 points, okay. After I was done with that, next thing I want to do now is to connect my sweetheart neckline. So this depends on how open or deep you want it to be. So I just drew mine from the new chest line to the old chest line, and you can see how I made a curve on the armhole side. So right here, I remembered I haven't done my armhole, like I haven't curved it, so I went ahead to do it. I believe you all know how to achieve this curve. So after drawing this, the next thing I want to do now is to mark quarter of my bust circumference. Then I'll replace the dart intake I have here and also add 1.5 inch for my normal seam allowance. I did the same thing for the waistline. Mark quarter of your waist circumference, then replace the dart you have and also add your normal seam allowance. Go ahead and connect. After connecting, guys, you can see what I have here. So I want to achieve a queen and yoke neckline. So from the neck width, I had to connect from there to this point, and I labeled as yoke. Next thing you want to do is to cut it out, okay. Just watch how I'm cutting this so you don't cut yours on the right part. Because this is an underbust bustier, I had to cut from the underbust line, okay. So after cutting, you can see what I have here. Next thing I want to do now is to keep this aside, then I'll work on the half length. So make a straight line across here to serve you as your starting line. My underbust was 12.5 inch. Subtract your underbust, then mark your waistline. My waistline was 15 inch. I'll just mark 15 inch, like I'll mark the 15 inch here. Then I'll use my ruler to connect this point to give me a straight line just like this, okay. After that, I'll label as waistline. So the next thing I did here was to add the inch I want for the basque waistline. So I marked 5 inch, then I made a straight line. I'll label as BAL, that means the basque line, okay. So I'm going to now divide my waist circumference by 4. I'll mark it, then add 1.5 inch for seam allowance. I'll measure what I had here in total, and I'm going to repeat the same thing on this back line. Then I'll connect the 2 points to give me a straight line. Once I'm through with that, I'll cut it out. Okay. After cutting, guys, this was what I had. The next thing I want to do is to place my ruler in a very slanting way. So I'll place it this way. Then from the waistline, I'll make a V shape. Okay, you just connect like so from the waistline. Once you're through with that, you cut it out. Okay. After cutting, I'll label as HL, meaning the half length. Okay, so these are the cup and the yoke. So I've arranged everything in place. This is what I had here. Like yours should look exactly like this after cutting. Next thing I want to do now is to transfer them to the actual fabric. So guys, after transferring all the piece to the actual fabric and cutting the linings as well, I also ironed my wording. Okay, then I left half an inch space on the upper part and on the downside. Repeat the same thing on yours. Okay, so after that, next thing I want to do now is to join this both piece together. The three piece, I'm going to join them together, two on the side using half of an inch. Okay, just like this. So guys, for the front yoke, I've gone ahead to iron my edge stay, and I cut two of these. Like I have like 4 piece here, one for the lining and one for the main fabric. I'll just sew with half of an inch straight. Okay, so after sewing this one, guys, you can see what I have here. I did the same thing on the lining as well, and this is the yoke part. I've gone ahead to sew just one side. That straight part is where you will sew and make a top stitch on rest of the part. Okay, so guys, the next thing I want to do now is to place my yoke. So from that joining line, you're going to place the yoke exactly on the joining line. Then place your yoke and cover with your lining just like this. Then also pin in place. After pinning, well, you're going to continue pinning, you're going to pin this before sewing, okay, so it doesn't shift from one place to another. After pinning, sew with your half an inch, and after sewing, you will have something looking like this. Okay, and you repeat the same thing on the other side. After joining the other side, the yoke, you can see what I have here, and this is the inside. Next thing I want to do is to insert my hemming gum. I will insert the hemming gum, iron very properly. So the purpose of inserting this hemming gum is to avoid the lining pulling out from the neckline. Okay, it will avoid the lining pulling out from the neckline. That's the purpose of using this hemming gum. So this is the basque effect. So I've already ironed. You can see I ironed my edge stem and I cut two of this, one for the lining. So what I'm going to do is to make this line very visible. This is the center front of my waistline. So after rolling this line, I'm going to mark 3 inch on this side. I'll also repeat the same thing on the other side. Okay, so the reason I'm marking these lines is to place the design I have on the half length. Okay, next thing I did was to sew and iron this strap. I did this out of camera, so I'm going to be placing this strap on this line. After placing, I'll make a top stitch on both sides. Okay, so after making my top stitch, you can see what I have here. So this is the lining. I'll just place the lining like this, the wrong side facing each other. So I'm going to just make a top stitch on all these areas. Okay, so when you get to the down part, you're going to jump the strap, then make your top stitch. So after making my top stitch, guys, you can see what I have here. Next thing I want to do now is to attach the underbust. So for the neckline, you can see the line is no longer pulling out from that neckline because of the hemming gum I ironed inside. So now go ahead and attach. Okay, after sewing, guys, you can see what I have here. So the next thing I want to do now is to mark the center front of the gown, that is the skirt part. I'm going to mark the center front. Then from the waistline, I'll come down by 5.5 inch. I'll come down by 5.5 inch. Then I'll use my ruler now to make a V shape. Repeat the same thing on this other side. So after that, I'll open it up like this. You can see what I have here. So I'm going to now go ahead and cut. So when cutting, please do not cut exactly on the chalk I marked or on the chalk you marked. Just leave about half of an inch space, then cut. Okay, so I've already made a top stitch there to secure the lining as well. So what I'm going to do now is to insert my boning. Okay, I'm going to insert this boning on the half length. I'll cut it out, then I'll insert. Just look at what I'm doing. So after inserting your boning, you have something looking like this. What you're going to do next is to iron very properly, okay? So after iron, you can see it now looks flat, okay? It now looks very relaxed and flat. This was what I had after I was done. Next thing I want to do now is to attach this to the skirt part. I'm going to attach this to the skirt part just like this, okay? You just find the center front of the waistline, then attach to the skirt part, okay? Just this way. After doing that, please ensure you notch, okay? So guys, this was what I had after I was done. You can see what I have here. You can see what the V shape looks like. This is very beautiful. I'll iron very well. I'm going to iron later so it looks very flat on that skirt part, okay? So this is it for the front piece. And for the back piece, this is what I have here for the back piece. You know, already know how to make this, just the half length and the skirt. And this is my sleeve. This is a long basic sleeve with flare. Okay, I believe most of you knows how to do this. So next thing I want to do now is to place the front and back piece right sides facing each other. Then I'm going to join the both shoulders. Okay, after joining the both shoulders like this using half of an inch, I'm going to also shape the both side. All right. Then I'll also attach my sleeve. All right. So this is the result of a beautiful dress. This was my birthday dress. You can see how beautiful this looks. So you can also notice I rocked my dress with a beautiful Zara cap. I did this myself. It did not take me 3 minutes to tie this Zara cap. It was super easy. So if you're interested to learn how to make or tie the Zara cap, let me know what you think in the comment section. Just say I'm interested. I'm going to drop a tutorial on how to tie a Zara cap, an Ankara Zara cap, okay? Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.